3245, Delta 941, good day.
FedEx 855, contact Memphis Center 133.02.
3302, FedEx 855, good day.
All right, welcome on board again. So, one of the questions I always ask is, you know, on the performance and after fuel burn. As you can see, we've finished off the tip tanks and actually just switched over to the outers. You can see the pump swap over. So we're an hour and 51 minutes in flight. We've burned 1131. In a perfect world, you have about 1,170 pounds in the tip tank, so that's a realistic thing going on there. So performance-wise, when we started our initial cruise, we were indicating 181 and truing out at 271. So we're starting to see that true airspeed creep up at 274, and we're still ISO plus 17, so it's a nice warm day. Thankfully got actually a strange westbound cross or tailwind, so it's always good to see over 300 knots on the ground speed. But so 240, we're going to be a little bit more efficient on the fuel flow, but we'll give up a little bit of true airspeed, which is okay in my book. This flight's about 980 miles, and I'm ultra conservative, so I like to land with more fuel than I probably should, but that's just my personal opinion.
Hello, Hobby 01, flight level 240.
So again, you know, one of the things when I started looking at different turboprops was real world performance, real world conditions and things like that. So took off at max gross weight, full fuel, and it's kind of a normal climb up. I think we talked about that a little bit earlier, but it was about a 24-minute climb up to 240 with two steps on the way from ATC, which wasn't too bad.
Number 401, Lima Golf.
So we'll keep track on this, and what we'll do is we're going to burn those outer tanks, and when those outer tanks go off in this Marquise, I like to be about once we burn those off, I like to be about an hour out from destination. So we've got probably an hour of fuel there to burn, and as you can see here, the great Garmin gods say we're an hour and 25 out, and making good progress there. So just want to give a little insight on kind of how this thing actually runs in the real world. We'll enjoy the view, and for a couch potato like me that watches some of these videos, this is the easy part. You get to fast forward to the next step. Welcome back on board. Well, while you were gone, we burned off the outer tanks in the wing, and we're onto our main tank. And like I said before, my personal minimums are I want to be an hour out when I do that, so we're 30 minutes ahead of that. Performance-wise, it continues to kind of, you know, obviously dump a lot of weight. It's interesting, the outer got to be the geometry of the wing.
Center, good morning, Pat. 483-260.
Obviously, we're about a 10 knots faster than we were when we started the trip, so which is always a good thing. Mother Nature is still giving us a nice push, so we're seeing 321 across the ground. So basically, we burned the outer tanks, then the tip tanks, then the outer tanks. That gave us approximately 2 hours and 45 minutes of flight time.
Number 616 Echo Lima, contact down Center 1.
Everything else is just running as you'd expect. Got the better vertical speed planning in here.
Chaos 82 flight, contact down Center 1.
Start down in another little bit. A lot of guys out there that have great videos of takeoffs and landings and all those fun things, so I'm not going to bore you with that. Mine's more about you know, how functional is this airplane now, and does it do what we always pretend it will do. A lot of people, you know, say it's a 290 knot airplane, and cooler months it is. In the summer months, you see she's a 280 knot airplane once you burn off some fuel, so you know you're probably going to block it at 275. And it's probably important to note, we're up at 240, at 220, we probably pick up a fair amount of speed. I'll have to go back and look at some notes there, but and we'll add that to some other videos. But for this trip, I just it was more important to get the fuel burn and just keep some margin in case we had some weather come up. there's a little bit of weather building, but nothing bad, or if we had to shoot some approaches and things like that. So again, I'm probably more conservative than the average squirrel, but guess what? That's what I get to do, and get to make my own choices. So I hope some of you guys that might be thinking about one of these airplanes found this useful, and just put any info in the comments that if you want to know more about systems or just overall performance of the airplane, and off we go. So anyway, just like I said, when I went shopping originally, there wasn't a lot of good information. Probably the best thing out on the internet was now Premier One driver. He used to have I believe a Solitaire and a Marquis, so a Marquis like this. So that was super helpful, and he was kind with his information when I reached out to him about what he thought about the airplane and the performance, and does it do what it's supposed to do. Of course, he's migrated up to Premier 1A and has a phenomenal channel doing all that fun stuff too. So we'll leave it up to those guys to do all that fun stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this and got a little bit of information out of it. And like I said, ask questions and be glad to help anybody that might be shopping for a great airplane, which the MU2 really is. All right, guys. See ya. Alright guys, back on board for the return trip. Had a great event, so party's over, need to go home, get back to work, pay for some fuel. So here we go, we're 23,000 cruising, kind of normal cruise. We're temperature limited, obviously, indicating 193 knots. Truing out 184 knots. ISA is still a little bit crazy. It was plus 20 earlier, now or at least plus 17, so exciting news there. Mother Nature's giving us a little bit of a push, which is always nice. Sorry for the shaky cam there, but so again, just kind of what we would expect. Fuel flow is about 290 a side, so that's kind of a reasonable fuel flow for this altitude. As I mentioned, we're temperature limited. We're right engine temps out first in this plane, and so we're getting about I want to say 74% torque, give or take. Fuel-wise, outer tanks are just about empty, and that's a painful view. Welcome to a bunch of knobs in the wrong places, but it is what it is. So they're about to empty out, and we're about to switch over to the outer tanks, and obviously we have a full main tank. So about 3 hours of fuel on board still, and the almighty fuel flow, which is a lot of us nerds care about because we're paying a lot for fuel these days. So just a kind of a little bit improved performance on the true airspeed over 240, which was on the way out. It was a little warmer, headed west, so headed home. We're seeing a little bit better temp, not by much, if I remember correctly. You guys went really fast in this video. I did not, so I'll have to go look at some notes. Maybe I'll check it on the video, but anyway, we'll see how things progress as we burn off some fuel, and we'll talk to you in a few. Welcome back on board, everybody. Looks like we're finally burning off those outer tanks. So left side is run empty, so we're going to turn that pump off. And right's not too far behind, so I can do this without making us all sick. So basically we have auto, which is normally how we run the system. We can also manually run one side or the other. And as we can see, nobody likes red lights in the cockpit, so that's the right side outer tank going empty. So we can go ahead and turn that pump off as well. And obviously indicated by the fuel gauge. If you're new to aviation, you don't generally trust these things too much. But obviously we're now down to our main tank. And you've heard me say many times, I like to be 1 hour out or less when I have that event happen. But the overall topic here is just kind of how's this thing perform. So once again, we're cruising along at 230. We're showing about 286 knots now in true. Mother Nature's still helping us out. So still seeing 300 across the ground, which is always a wonderful thing. Everything else is obviously the same. Temperatures are stable. Fuel flow is right where we left off. Nothing really changing there. Just a matter of the aerodynamics of this airplane and how it behaves in cruise. I might have had a time lapse that I stuck in between here, so sometimes you can actually tell you can look at that outboard fuel tank and kind of see the pitch of the aircraft, and it does change just a little bit as we burn off that fuel. She'll start to bring the nose down just a little bit, which I think I personally compare it to a boat, kind of getting on plane and on step. There's guys with a lot more time in these airplanes than I'll probably get in a lifetime. They can tell you more about the characteristics of the airplane, but I just found that it's very speed sensitive of how the airframe, behaves and kind of flies when you're flying by hand. So anyway, hopefully
3659 Memphis Center, climb and maintain,
some people have found some interest in
230.
just kind of overall performance of the airplane and what it does in real life. Just a great traveling machine, gets us where we want to go in a nice, safe way. And the boss lady's in the back and getting some work done. And that'll be all for this one. So try to put all this together for you guys at some point here in the near future. And like I said, hopefully it's entertaining, or at least a little bit more information than we can find on something.
Good evening,
Guys, have a wonderful night, and we'll see you next time.
Council 353 Memphis Center, descend and maintain 1000.